Yo, it's awesome to be here, man. This is one of the first videos, or if not the first video that I'm ever doing and ever recording for my YouTube. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it so much. I finally got everything working and all the gear together. So we're gonna do this reaction video. And today we are reacting to a video called "Can Christians and Ex-Christians See Eye to Eye?" And it's a good video. Sorry, it's a good a good video to watch. But some interesting things to talk on. So let's go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and watch it.
Let me say something that you might not like. I think all four of you know that God really exists. I think you do know. You don't want it to be true.
That's putting
Opposite.
I said you might not like it, right?
We are approaching the 150th episode of Middle Ground, and we need your help to continue making more episodes. Join our Middle Ground.
Okay.
Christianity is the only true religion.
Can the agreeers please step forward?
It's kind of interesting because there are so many religions, and I don't even consider myself religious. I consider myself a child of God. I have a relationship with Jesus. So I would say the only true way to heaven, the only true way to eternal everlasting life is Christianity.
Well, I'm surprised that all of us came forward because, I'm a pastor, so that's expected of me. But I've noticed that it's such a hard thing to say today, rather than it was like 30 years ago, because so many people get offended. I mean, you didn't say anything else except Jesus is the only way, and right there, people don't want to talk to you.
Right, it's really true.
True. For me, I think all religions teach you to do well, but Christianity is the only religion that teaches you can't do it without God. You can't do it without Jesus.
Yo, shout out to Johnny, bro. Johnny just said something so real. Like, this is the only religion that teaches you can't do it without God, and you're not supposed to. You shouldn't want to do it without God, and that's man, that's a good point. Shout out to Johnny, man. Let's go ahead and give 2 claps for Johnny. Okay, was that 1? That's 2. Okay.
For me, I couldn't get out of my depression. I couldn't get out of my loneliness. I could only maintain. I needed something to save me, pull me out of that. 100%. And so, I grew up Buddhist, but with Christianity, I was able to really step out of that frame of thinking of I'm my own God. I have to take care of my own issues. And God was the one that helped me in everything.
Praise be to God.
Amen.
I mean, I really don't want it to seem like my religion is better than yours kind of deal.
Of course.
It's simply what Jesus claimed for himself.
Yeah.
So,
Can the disagreeers please?
I'm so interested to see what like the other people are gonna say, because like
If we reflect on the aspect of the only true religion or the only true religion for me, it's a slippery slope, because if you substitute religion with nationalism, we can all of a sudden see the problems with it,
I get it. I think that organized religion can cause a lot of issues. The message of Jesus Christ, he's the embodiment of love, right? But yeah, I truly believe in my heart. I do not think people that do not know him are just gonna burn in the fiery pits. I don't think it's that black and white.
Okay,
yes,
hold on. Let me say something real quick. Okay. He brought up a point where I don't believe that people are gonna burn in the fiery pits of hell, like if they don't know God. And here's the thing. That's what the Bible says. And a lot of people don't want to necessarily, they don't have to rock with God. It's a choice. That's literally why he gives us free will. Like you are told what will happen if you don't, right? And if you choose your own path, cool. This is the time to do it. If you're doing it, you got it. But in this case, when he talks about this guy right here, I forget his name, but when he talks about how I don't believe in the fiery pits of hell, people are going to burn in the fiery pits. Why are you going against what the word says? That is what the word says. It's like there's no change in the word. The word is the word. The word is exact. And it may be tough to swallow, but this is truly what it says. Like it's hell. It's not a friendly place. It really is. It really isn't. But let's continue to be. He's probably got something else to say.
Jesus Christ is Christianity is the only way.
My epiphany was like walking down Route 101 in Pennsylvania and thinking, oh my God, this idea behind Christianity is that everyone that doesn't just assent, believe in this one thing, they're gonna burn forever. And that was like my epiphany, like, oh man, it is fun, not fun, it is fulfilling to have a very black and white way of looking at the world, right? That I remember how great that felt, but also like my epiphany is.
Wait. She just said something. She just said something. She said, I remember how great that felt. You remember how great that felt? So, okay. So, I mean, yeah. So, sorry. She's an ex-Christian. So, she remember how black and white it was. Sometimes it's just that simple. Like, I feel like some people go off into looking for more understanding when you're not supposed to have that understanding. It's not for us to have that understanding or go beyond what we can fathom. Like literally, it's not for us. It's for us to just be obedient to what God says. And yeah, it's a choice. It's an everyday choice. And God is going to judge us all. Even myself, but it's a choice that we all have to make,
In the world and the universe, then that can't be the end of it. Like that, I mean, that might be like an all-knowing God, but that's not an all-loving God. It can't be all.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm so jealous that you guys feel like it's the only religion. Like I wish I felt that way still, but I just don't know anything. And there's millions of religions. How can you say 100%?
I get what she's saying.
That it's the only true one. You can't, but I know in your hearts you can. And I wish I had that so bad, but I just don't.
It's like this, in answer to your question, I mean, I haven't studied every religion to say this is wrong, this is right. But I do know that Jesus is real based on what he's done in my life. And I know the Bible is real based on archaeology and prophecy. And Jesus says he's the only way, so I'll believe him. I mean, he could be lying, I could be wrong.
What if I said that to you?
But
What
Jesus,
makes him special?
Jesus proved himself to me by saving me, by doing miracles in my life.
What if I say?
Yeah, but that's anecdotal.
But you haven't saved me.
What if I do though? What if he does? What if
The
anybody else?
issue, I believe that you experience that, and that it's powerful, and if that makes you a better human being, fantastic. The issue is that it's anecdotal. To go to what you were saying, how can you prove without just the basis of faith that this is the absolute truth?
Christian apologetics.
Right, but the Christian apologetics.
Hold on. I'm confused. Yes, he's making a point where it's anecdotal. But like the other guy, when he was saying like, he was saying, what if I save you? You can't save the way Jesus saves. Like you really can't. You can't. There's no way for you to do what Christ does. And the funny thing is, he said it's been, the pastor said it was proven by archaeology and historical evidence, which is true. Jesus was a real person. And the thing is, we write down events based on the points of view of man and people that were in that time all the time. But yet, for some reason, the Bible is just not possible. It's just not possible to think that God, because we all know there's a creator. We really all know there is a creator. Someone had to make us, right? And so what I get caught up in is when people say, oh, well, there's no way of knowing he could have done miracles. If the man is claiming to be God, which he was, he can do whatever. He can do whatever. It's wow. I'm gonna push forward some though, because this is a long video. This is like 50 minutes, and I'm gonna push a little ahead. I'm gonna try to get something else. Let me see what that. Let me go over here. Okay.
I'm actually glad that you brought up the whole translations thing, because that is something that I used to.
Hold on. The question was, the Bible is always open to interpretation. That's what they're saying. If you agree with it or not.
As well, and once I looked into it, every modern translation of the Bible is actually translated from Greek, Hebrew, or Aramaic, which are ancient languages. So it's not that we're just continuing to translate from whatever was modern to another modern. Like, no, And that's why if you've ever heard of the Dead Sea Scrolls, it's ancient text from the Bible, where if you were to compare it to the Bible today, only things different is like punctuation.
But that's amazing because that was
It's a
one of
big
the
deal.
most amazing discoveries of this century, in that they discovered the Dead Sea Scrolls and they thought they would correct all these mistakes in the Bible. But it was so amazing that 99.99% was accurate. So they were amazed.
Look at
Second
his
Peter chapter
face.
1, verse 20 tells
Look
us
at
that
dude's face. Right here. Hold on. Oh, my boy. This guy's saying something. Let me be quiet.
Scriptures for interpretation. So it's actually for us to accept rather than understand. And for me personally, like when I try to understand, so I have a kid. When he was 5 years old, I tried to explain to him like mortgage. I had money in my pocket. I was still poor. I was living in the projects, right? My kid was like, let me get bubble gum. And I was like, I can't. I don't have enough money. I don't want to like buy him the clothes. I couldn't buy him the clothes. But in his mind, he was understanding it as, Dad, you don't love me, right? And I'm like, but I do love you. As much as I explained it to him, he couldn't understand it. He was very miserable because of that.
Wow. Yo, Johnny, that's his name? Bro, Johnny threw out the perfect like metaphor to explain what it feels like. You can't fathom it. As much as I can explain it to you, like Christ can explain to you how things go, you're not capable of understanding everything. You're not meant to hold on to that. So you can get frustrated and miserable and mad at the person. But when really it is, you're not made to do that. So yet you seek more, but you're not, you can't, you're a wall, you reach the level of capacity that you have. And so I love how Johnny made metaphors as an example. Like he uses metaphors as an example to like teach and to show people more of the things that, you know, that he's pointing out. It was really dope. It was really dope. Let me go back to the video.
At least for me, that we're all children in God. Like we're finite beings. We cannot understand infinite things.
Keep going.
So when I learned to stop trying to understand rather and just accept, then I was able to truly.
She's upset by
for me
that.
personally.
That's like
Sounds
growing
amazing.
up. It was like I would ask my parents, because my parents are super religious, Trumpers, borderline QAnon. Scary.
2024, let's go.
Come on. And I was terrified of the rapture. Anytime I said anything about the rapture, it's always just like, well, you're thinking with your human brain. You're not thinking with your heavenly brain. I'm like, but I only have a human brain. Like I can only understand what I can understand here.
Can I ask you something too? I wanted to know, like, so do you believe, like, say, if someone's kind and treats people right and is a really good-hearted soul, but say they really don't believe in anything, perhaps, God, or right? Do you believe that they're gonna burn just because they don't believe?
I think that God invites us all to have a life with him in eternity. And I think a lot of times we're like, he's just want to throw people in hell, but he's like, if you want to be with me in eternity, these are the qualifications. Jesus is the only
that's
way.
a yes.
Conditionally, but terms and
So yeah, you think they'll burn in
See, I don't like that. First of all, I want to talk about this guy for a second. This guy here, it sounds like, it says he's a Christian, but I feel like he's in the beginning of his walk. Like he's understanding. And I don't know, he may be gay. I don't know. This is really not for me to say, so I apologize. But he's asking questions like, what do you really think? He's asking another Christian who seems like they've had more time with God and walking with God, if this is correct. And he's still seeking it. So I pray for his walk. I pray for his walk, because to even be in it can be challenging. No one said it was going to be easy, but she made a good point. Like he like I said, like you choose if you want to be in eternity with somebody. Like you're choosing, and you know they're like, yes, oh you're saying that we're gonna burn in hell if we don't choose him, and that's like, yeah, I hate it. I hate it for some people, but like sometimes it is black and white. It really is. And the thing is, you go through the world always wanting to do your way, or what Satan is got going for you. He wants to take you away from Christ, because Christ is the answer. Understand, you can give everything to God. Everything. Anything you want to God, and he'll take on that burden. body it, shoulder it, pocket it for you. He does that for anybody. And all he says is, hey, I'm good. Just seek me. Seek me. I got you. I got you. And it's like, there's so much other things that we don't know that he knows. And it's going to be so crazy when I get to heaven and I have I don't have a lot, I have questions, but when I get to ask all of my thoughts and he can just break it down. Or maybe he might not. I don't know. But I know I choose God because God has been there. God is just so real. And I know for some of these ex-Christians, it may be that they haven't experienced God in a while, because when you're on your walk, sometimes you can veer off. Sometimes you can veer all the way off. But God, you can always run back to God. So I pray for their walks too. Let's keep watching.
The good person will burn in hell.
If they don't know Jesus, yes, they will not be with God for eternity.
Yeah, so that makes me not want to know that guy.
I think step back a little because we've been dancing around it a little bit, but relating to the prompt though, I would like to know how you became ex-Christians. I think that might help us.
Yeah, that'd be really nice.
By reading the Bible.
Okay.
I think
we
that's
disagreed.
Yeah. Well,
do you mind if I ask if you have a religion?
I do not have any organized religion. I don't really believe in anything supernatural. I am technically part of the Satanic Temple.
Huh?
We only have 7 rules. We don't have an entire book. We don't need to. Yeah.
Is that considered a religion?
Something going on right there.
It is technically considered a religion, but it's like the religion to end all religions. They really hate organized religion. They kind of want to just have everybody.
Hold on. Let me read this. The mission of the Satanic Temple, a religious organization, is to encourage the benevolence. Hold on.
Focus on humanity, putting different.
I can't read past this. Let me take these captions off. Okay, there it goes. Dismiss. All right. It is a religious organization is to encourage benevolence and empathy among all people, reject tyrannical authority, advocate practical common sense, oppose injustice, and undertake noble pursuits. They're saying they don't have a goal. Let me take this back just a hair. Okay, let me hear what he said.
They kind of want to just have everybody focus on humanity, putting differences aside, treating each other with respect.
I guess what I'm asking is,
But see, don't you get it? The Satanic Temple's goal is to make you realize there is no religion, to make you see that there's no God, right? That's their goal, to see that there is no God. But there is. You know it. It's something created you. We overlook that so many times and it gets frustrating, but someone created you. You didn't just fall out the sky. And even if you want to use the Big Bang Theory, I can even use that and say, well, who created the Big Bang? God did. Come on. Who's to say God doesn't have the capability to age our universe millions of years in a day to him? He can do whatever. And this Satanic Temple's goal is to make you not know or not think there is a God at all. Just respect each other and for the good that we do and this. Come on, man. That's the enemy. That's Satan. It's called the Satanic Temple. Satan is real. They using Satan's name in it. His goal is to get you away from God. Man, I'm praying for him, man. That's crazy. And I saw other dude dap him up too. And I was like, oh man, they might both be on it. And you know what? I'm not gonna say that's okay. I'm praying for Christ to enter their hearts heavily. Or just them to seek God. I hope this conversation can help them. Just help them figure something out. Because it's crazy. Oh, yeah, he didn't even answer the question.
Like specifically, like if you wanted an example of something, the Bible says in Exodus 20, these are the 10 commandments, and then it lists things that God only verbally spoke. But then later, if you go to Exodus 34, it mentions the 10 Commandments, and they're a little bit different. I would encourage you to go look at Exodus 34, especially the 10th commandment. Do not boil a goat in its mother's milk. Yeah. That's a fun one. We should be adhering to that today, right?
Well, if Jesus never came and created a new covenant, then yeah, there's a lot of things we'd still be doing.
Sure. Yeah.
Those are part of the 613 laws, which is called the mitzvah. And people don't know that we're not under those laws anymore. We're also not under pretty much any law, because it says Romans 6:14, we're free, right? We're free from the law.
I mean, that's just
grace.
one example. If you really want to focus,
bro, shouts out to Johnny.
Should be relevant. That would be the Gospels, right?
Sure.
You guys would agree with that?
Absolutely.
Right. So let's look at all 4 Gospels. Let's compare them to one another and tell me that there are not contradictions in them. That
There's no
one
contradictions
event
in the
happened,
Bible.
and also the simultaneous other event.
With no problem saying it. There's no contradictions to the Bible. None. Because there's not. I feel like sometimes people like point out things in the Bible but haven't read the entire Bible. It's like, oh, well, you get in the Cliff Notes. Yeah, it creates a system where it's like you don't read the whole entire Bible, and that's the problem. Hold on, let me fix this. That can be the problem. You think you know enough from just the inkling of the Bible. The Bible is long. It's like watching One Piece. Like, some people just don't really want to do it because it's so long. But when you do it, you realize how beautiful it is. I know I'm using One Piece and the Bible together, which is so funny to me. But it's proving my point. He's got certain inserts. Like, even with the 10 Commandments, it was like, oh, they changed. I'm like, did you not read that, like, why there was no new 10 Commandments? Because Moses went up, came back, saw his people, and how they were living, and he like literally destroyed everything because he was angry, and they had to go back up and get the new 10 Commandments. Come on, like, it's all right. I gotta calm down. I'm getting riled up. Hold on, here we go.
Like, did he die in the desert, or did somebody kill him? Like,
it never says anybody killed him. It says
he hung himself.
Yeah, he hung
He
himself.
fell headlong, right?
Yeah.
And then
Or was he killed by the people that he was paid off by?
I mean, we could have a nitpicking theological discussion with
Well,
all these
we
different
should,
passages.
shouldn't we?
Well, not
We
for
could,
this,
but we
yeah,
also
Bible
should.
says
But I
later,
also want to
that's
know,
not the
so
basis.
your experience, is that similar difficulty with the Bible, so you kind of walked away?
So I talked about my epiphany experience, but also when I came out to my mom, I went to, Christian camp and Bible college. When I came out to my mom, she ripped up my birth certificate and sent it to me.
Oh my gosh.
Which is very I said to my therapist, I was like, oh, that
That's
was so
horrible.
that was
Yeah,
so
that's awful.
passive aggressive. My therapist was like, no, that was
That-
aggressive.
that was
aggressive.
Okay, I do want to say this real quick. I hate that people can like attack people that say they're gay, or people that are gay, because it's, how do I put this? It's the only outward sin that we see, like lying, cheating, adultering. People do that behind closed doors. But when you choose the sin of homosexuality, that's the one outwardly sin that like you see the most. So of course people see it and want to attack it for some reason. I don't know why. Because in the end of the day, sin is sin. Like, we can talk with them respectfully, like, hey, like, and then if they don't want to hear it, move on. Move on. It's not for them. It's not. And God says that to his disciples when they're going out to different cities to teach. He's like, hey, if they don't want to hear you, dust the feet off your sandals and keep going. Like, let me work on them, like, all alone on the side. But it's wild. I can't even, this video is getting too long. It's at 25 minutes. So you know what? I'm going to have to do a part 2 of this because this is just too good. I appreciate it. But you know what? Go ahead, like this video. I'm going to release part 2. And make sure you subscribe, man. Welcome to the channel. SirDuke here, baby. We here. And doing God's work. So let's make it happen. All right. Appreciate y'all. We out.